Okay, welcome back, everyone. Let's dive right in. We're pushing forward through the Divine Comedy, and today we land in the seventh canto of Paradise.
That's right, Canto 7?
And this is our 74th deep dive, exploring this amazing work. You know the mission. We look closely at the canto, try to unpack its meaning, and crucially, find something useful for our own journeys.
Absolutely.
Just to remind you where we are, Dante's still moving upwards, still in that second heaven, the sphere of Mercury.
Right. And Canto 7 gets into some deep stuff pretty quickly. Beatrice addresses this really specific doubt nagging at Dante. He's grappling with divine justice.
Okay.
He understands why original sin deserved punishment, like being cast out of Eden. That seems just to him. But then he struggles with this. If that was just, how can it also be just that God allowed Christ, who came to fix that sin, to be punished by the Romans? And then how can the Romans also be justly punished later for doing it? It feels like a contradiction.
Wow, yeah, that's a naughty one. And the way Beatrice picks up on it is fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
The text says she just sees the question forming in his eyes. No words needed. It's like that intuitive communication we've seen before in Paradise.
Exactly. It underlines that connection they have.
Yeah.
So sensing this internal struggle, Beatrice launches into this profound explanation of redemption.
Okay, how does she explain it?
Well, she basically argues that human nature, after original sin, was fundamentally flawed. It was incapable of making amends on its own. Humanity owed a debt it simply couldn't repay.
So self-redemption was impossible.
Essentially, yes. From Beatrice's perspective, it required something extraordinary, the incarnation. God becoming human in Christ, uniting the divine and human natures. That was the only way.
Right, the incarnation. But how does that specifically untangle Dante's question about the justice of punishing Christ and punishing the Romans?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Beatrice presents a kind of dual perspective. She explains that Christ's death was just, if you look at it from the standpoint of the human nature he assumed, that nature carried the burden of sin and its suffering paid the debt justly.
Okay, paying the debt for humanity.
Precisely. But if you look at it from the perspective of the divine person of Christ, who was inherently innocent and perfect, then his execution by the Romans was profoundly unjust. A terrible crime against God himself.
So it's simultaneously just and unjust, depending on how you look at it.
Kind of, yeah. It's what you might call a double truth. Beatrice argues God chose this complex path because it was the only way to perfectly balance his immense justice with his infinite mercy. It wasn't about simple punishment or simple forgiveness. It was something far more profound, something that frankly surpasses our limited human understanding of justice.
There's a lot to take in, but incredibly thought-provoking. Okay, let's try and step back from the specific theology for a moment. What can we, pull from this for our own lives, our own journeys?
Yeah, I think there's some really powerful lessons here, actually. First, there's that idea about the impossibility of, let's say, total self-sufficiency. Just like humanity needed Christ, we often hit limits in our own life, right? Problems or mistakes we can't fix just by trying harder on our own.
Recognizing we need help sometimes.
Exactly. And seeing that need isn't failure. It's actually the first step towards real growth. It's about humility, maybe.
Yeah, I see that. What else?
Well, there's the complexity of justice itself. This whole canto pushes back against easy answers, Christ's death being both just and unjust. It forces you to think beyond simple right versus wrong.
Right, things aren't always black and white.
Definitely not. True justice, or maybe just finding the right way forward in a difficult situation, often means looking at things from multiple angles, understanding the context, being more compassionate maybe.
Moving beyond those simple binaries.
Yes. And another thing is the value of mediation. Think about it. God didn't just wipe the slate clean, nor did he enact pure vengeance. He chose the incarnation, this incredible act of mediation, of bridging the gap.
Bringing two sides together. Right, and that's a powerful reminder for us. In our own conflicts, our relationships, seeking common ground, finding constructive compromises, that path of mediation is often way better, more healing, than just digging in our heels or demanding extreme solutions.
That middle way often holds the most strength.
It really can. And one final thought from Beatrice's explanation, which I find fascinating, is about the dignity of our human condition. Being mediated, being mortal, needing this intervention, it's not presented as just a flaw.
Oh, how so?
She suggests that our very condition, our freedom to choose within our limits, actually gives us a unique way to grow spiritually, to participate in the divine. Our limitations, paradoxically, can become a source of potential.
Wow. Finding strength, even in our vulnerabilities. Okay, so Canto 7 really offers a lot. Realizing we can't always go it alone, seeing justice as complex, valuing mediation and compromise, and even finding dignity in our own human limitations.
I think so. They're pretty profound takeaways from just one canto. It makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does.
Perhaps something for you, the listener, to ponder this week. How might seeing a challenge through multiple lenses, acknowledging complexity, or maybe actively looking for common ground instead of conflict, how might that change how you approach something difficult in your own life right now?
That's a powerful question to sit with. Thank you for guiding us through that.
Yeah.
And thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into Paradise. We look forward to exploring the next canto with you soon.